What's up, guys? It's Deepak Shukla here, back again for your Serpwizz report. If you want to get your free, instantly actionable audit, head over to serpwizz.com and get it in less than 30 seconds. Instantly actionable and ready for you to go using these videos that I'm also going to share with you if you're trying to figure out what the frick some of this means. So now we're talking about estimated input latency. Ultimately, this is how long your site or app takes to respond to someone clicking around with it during the busiest period of a page load. So that would be like a window, as it says, 5 seconds of your page load. And if the latency, meaning the delay between you interacting with the website and the website responding, is higher than 50 milliseconds, ours is 8 times, 7.5 times higher, users could perceive your app as laggy. So a lot of that, I think, also depends upon if you've got the kind of site that people are going to start clicking around on immediately. We've got, on Serpwizz as well as Pearl Lemon, we are not going to be a site that people are going to immediately start clicking around upon. So people or users may miss that some of the time. So it's important to factor that in, that, what kind of business do you have, and therefore how does this impact it? With all of that being said, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't speed it up. And input latency is something that is definitely important to your journey of speeding up your website. So it's, again, the time between you clicking on something and it responding, and the bigger the lag, the bigger estimated input latency. Okay, so let's head over to Lighthouse again to see what they say. It measures how long your app takes to respond to a user during the busiest 5-second window of a page load. As you can see, this is where we gathered some of our resources from. And is there... Here we go. Lighthouse assumes that your app needs 50 milliseconds to completely respond to the user's input, from performing any JavaScript executions to physically painting the new pixels to the screen. So painting is the act of producing something on the screen. And if it's unavailable 50 milliseconds or more, that doesn't leave enough time for your app to complete the resource if your main thread, which is the processing power, if you like, of your site. And here we go. Approximately 90% of users will encounter Lighthouse's reported amount of input latency or less. 10% of users can expect higher latency. And that's something to consider, that, we're in that bottom 10%, if I'm being honest. Optimize how your code runs in the browser. So that's probably the most important thing to consider when you're thinking about estimated input latency. It's about your code running in the browser, and Google outlined some techniques in their rendering performance page: offloading computation to web workers to freeing up the main thread, refactoring your SSS to perform fewer calculations, and using CSS properties that minimize the amount of browser-intensive operations. So we head over to Google. You'll see that dismiss. They've got like a load of the pixel pipeline, CSS, Java, browser rendering optimizations. They've got like a load of advice on here. And then also, if we go to holistic SEO again, these guys think like an SEO, code like a developer. Think like SEO, code like developer. And they've got a range of let's just see what they say. That I don't already know about. Yeah, if you can't see the content and they can't interact with the content, most users know what to do with a web page since they are coming with specific intent. But if they can't see the content or interact with it, that'll frustrate them. And let's see what they say as an example. Okay, you know what? Let's just go to the improvement section of it. So there's some stuff here that I'm not familiar with, if I'm being honest. I'd have to talk to my development team, but optimizing the resource load order, optimizing JavaScript execution time, defer the uncritical JavaScript assets for execution, minimize the unused polyfills activity for the browser, take advantage of Webpack parcel and roll up as module bundlers. There's a lot of stuff here that's pretty impressive. So I think that hopefully that gives you some insights. And this dude uses data science for SEO projects. So he's pretty impressive work for pretty impressive dude he is. So I hope that this makes sense, guys. I think he's made more sense, Mr. Correa, than I have probably. But at least you understand enough about the estimated input latency to talk about it intelligently with your clients. Thanks, guys.